Oh, oh, oh. This little runt right here, his name is Fireball, and he is a howling machine. I was actually hoping, I'm right here where these pups are denning at, and I was actually hoping to record some sounds off of them, but it's way too windy today, and I like to record natural sounds. I'll just sit out here and get whatever they do. It's too windy today, not gonna get anything worth using, so I wanted to take this time instead to hopefully help y'all out with something that I've learned over the years of recording these coyotes, testing sounds, and also going out and hunting with these sounds. And at certain times of the year, there seems like there are specific sounds that work better at specific times of the year. Not to say that they don't work year round, because all of us know breeding sounds, pup sounds, etc. work all year long. It doesn't have to be breeding season. It doesn't have to be when the pups are little for those sounds to work. But one thing that I've picked up on is that there are a few sounds that seem like they work better at specific times of the year. And today, the sound that I want to talk about, or the sounds that I want to talk about, that I feel like are time specific and will really help you call more coyotes and kill coyotes quicker earlier in the stand, are little coyote pup distress sounds. These coyote pups that I just showed you, they're going back in the den now. They're about 5 weeks old now. I've been recording them since birth. So everything from newborn on up, and I've done that with other litters. And what I've found out over the years is that those different age classes of pups have specific time frames that they're at their best. And right now we're in the middle of May. Most of the pups are on the ground by now, with the earliest born coyotes having been born in March, the bulk of the coyotes hitting the ground throughout April, and then your very latest born pups hitting the ground now. So what that means for us as hunters is that we have a big variety of age classes of pups on the ground right now. Everything from possibly newborn pups up to our oldest pups being as old as 10, 12 weeks old or older. So what I've learned is that using those little pup sounds and a variety of those little pup sounds in my sound sequence when I'm calling on stand really ups my odds of triggering coyotes, triggering those coyotes early in the stand, and just helps me kill more coyotes. Instead of running other sounds like wasting a bunch of time, and it's not to say that you can't kill coyotes with it, because you can, but instead of using your prey distress sounds like rabbits and birds, and running an 8-10 minute segment of rabbit and bird sounds before you call a coyote in, if you call a coyote in, I tend to save those sounds for fall and winter and not run those type prey distress sounds during spring and summer. And it's because the little pup sounds that I mentioned work so well, and they also serve a dual purpose. When you're running little pup distress like newborn pups, birthday pups, got milk from the MFK library, those type sounds, they're dual purpose, because the coyotes hearing it, they're not only an instinctual sound from it being their own kind, baby coyotes, but it's also a prey distress sound for them, because coyotes will come in and eat those baby pups. So instead of playing, baby cottontail or some type of rabbit or bird distress, play those little bitty coyote pup distress sounds, and your sound will serve a dual purpose right off the bat. That's one of the reasons to use them. The other reason is because this time of the year, we're calling coyotes that are extremely close range. For the most part, they're not going to come very far to the call. I shouldn't say close range, but we're not calling coyotes from very far away like we can in the fall and winter sometimes. So typically when a coyote hears a sound that it triggers on, it's going to be there really quick. And what I've learned, not only from testing sounds on these free range coyotes that I've raised and get to test, I get to see how they react to certain sounds and which sounds trigger them faster. This time of the year, those little pup sounds are money sounds. And Something else I've learned is that coyotes don't come to the call very far. We're typically dealing with denning, pup rearing coyotes, so you've got to be fairly close to them, and they're not going to come from a long way. So what that means is when a coyote hears a sound that it triggers on, it's going to be there quick. That's why the way that I like to use these sounds, typically I'll start out with lone howls, and I'll do a separate video on the howls and how I use them, and cover some of the BS things that have been said about howling and how it relates to calling. I'll do that on a separate video, but I typically start with those howls, and then I'll go to my social sounds. I'll also cover those at a different time. They are also, I usually start with some of the pup social sounds, but then I pretty quick, within a couple 3 or 4 minutes of my stand, I'm going right to those little pup distress sounds, and I want to run a variety of them. Keep in mind I said that coyotes are going to trigger quick. They're going to get to your set quick. So I only want to run those sounds for a couple minutes, 2-3 minutes tops. Then I swap to another sound. And when I swap to another sound, I'm staying in those little age class of pups. For example, I typically like to start that first pup distress sound this time of the year with something in a newborn or 1 week old age class, and I'll run that for a minute or two. That's going to be a dual purpose sound, prey distress, also an instinctual trigger for the coyotes. After a minute to 3 minutes, I swap to another sound, and I just jump to an older age class. I stair step up into an older age class. So if we start with newborn, I may jump to 3 week. Jump from 3 week, I'll play 3 week for a minute or two, jump to 5 week or 6 week, and so on until I get all the way up through those 12 to 16 week old pups. After that, we start getting into some of the older age class stuff, and we're kind of past this specific time frame that I'm talking about. But if you will stair step through those little pup distress sounds early in your stand, I think you'll call coyotes quicker, you'll trigger coyotes quicker, and you'll just kill more coyotes, call more coyotes in. They usually are aggressive to those type sounds, and they just work with really, really well. As far as prey distress goes, and I will mention this is another sound that I include in a lot of my sound sequences, spring, summer, and it's another sound that works year round, but I feel like has a specific time that it's at its best, and that's right now, spring, summer, and that's fawn distress, of course. Kill a lot of coyotes off fawn distress throughout the summer months. Rarely use that sound any other time of the year. And the thing about fawn distress, after recording these free range coyotes, I've got to watch them catch fawns, kill fawns, eat fawns. There's something about this time of the year. I believe the coyotes know that those fawns are hitting the ground, and they are keying on fawns for that short period of time. And I think that's why fawn distress is so good for a period of time. A couple months there, fawn distress can be really good. So that's something that I will include with my pup sounds as well. I'll mix that fawn distress in there. Same thing, I only run it for 3-4 minutes tops. If nothing is shown up, then there's probably not a coyote triggering to that sound, because like I said earlier, you're not calling them very far, and if they're going to be there, they're going to be there quick. Right along with the little pup distress sounds or your little pup fight sounds, your young age class pup fights. As soon as those pups get out of the hole at 3 to 4 weeks of age, they start establishing the pecking order within the litter. So you start having those 3-week-old pup fights, and they are serious fights. It's not playing. They are seriously fighting. As little as they are, they're in a vicious knockdown, drag out for pecking order. That will continue over the next few weeks until that pecking order is established, and then they will continue to maintain that pecking order through little short fights at different age classes throughout the summer. So once I run through those pup distress sounds, I may mix fawn in there, then I'll jump right over into my pup fights. And again, I run through them by age class. I'll start with my youngest stuff, which is typically in that 3-4 week time frame, and then just progress through the older age class fights. Run those for a couple minutes, swap to another one, jump a couple weeks here and there. If you want a long stand, you can come back around and do it again. Just go to a different pup fight or pup distress fight. And then once I get through that, I end my stands with some kind of sub-adult or adult fight, like pound town, table scraps, something like that. I'll run that sound for a few minutes and that ends my stand. But I hope that helps you out. I think if y'all will go through, and I will show y'all before this ends, I will show you on the remote how I've got my sounds listed on my call in those age class orders. If you want to get any of the sounds, and I think it's a good idea, especially right now, to have those different age class of pups in your library, just go to mfkgamecalls.com or Fox Pro, either one, and check out the MFK Sound Library. You can find all of those age classes of pups listed there on our library. Get them added to your Fox Pro, and I guarantee you, you will have more success, and it will allow you to save some of your top producing fall and winter sounds for fall and winter, instead of burning your coyotes' ears with your best rabbits and stuff like that this time of the year. So anyway, appreciate y'all watching as always. Leave me a comment if you have any questions. I left something out, just leave it in the comments. I always try to get on there and answer everybody. And appreciate you using our product, appreciate you using Fox Pro, and you know, let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see on future videos too. I always take that into consideration when I'm doing, you know, some of this content. But once again, appreciate y'all watching. Hope y'all have a good one, and hope this helps some of you kill more coyotes. Oh. 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 Yeah, there's some good puppies. Yeah, there's some good puppies. Oh. Oh. Come on, little puppies. Come on, little puppies. Yeah, there's some good puppies. Yeah, some good puppies. Y'all will be using these before long to kill more.